everyone, my name is Eden Obando and this is my public unions presentation for MPA 545 with Professor Curtis. In my presentation, I'll be covering the following: Public Employee Union CSLEA, changes in CSLEA after the Janus decision, a Public Employee Unions article, and a Wisconsin Act 10 bill news article. The California Statewide Law Enforcement Association provides union protection for all employees in the Protective Services and Public Safety Unit 7. This union covers the entire state of California, and some of the employees that it serves are Fish and Wildlife, wardens, state park rangers, firefighters, deputy state fire marshals, hospital police officers, investigators, inspectors, 911 dispatchers, criminalists, and special agents. And these are just some of the employees that they serve. There were a few changes after the Janus versus AFSCME case in 2018. There were changes in the California Statewide Law Enforcement Association. The first change that I noticed was that there is a form the union has to fill out and have the employee fill out that indicates whether the employee is going to or consenting to the union dues being deducted. And the second change is that if an employee wants to opt out of the union dues being deducted, then they would need to fill out a withdrawal form and have it sent in, and the union does have to provide this. The last change that I noticed was that the union is protected by the state against any lawsuits pertaining to dues that were deducted from an employee, and if that employee now feels that it was wrongly deducted or without their consent, they are protected from lawsuits that are of that nature. I read the article, The Impact of Janus on Public Employee Unions So Far by Kowalski and Trinman. In this article, they covered the changes in fee payers and members for unions, public sector unions. They covered lawsuits that were brought after the Janus decision and the impact of that decision now, or at the time of the article, which was 2019. To begin with, the public sector unions lost a lot of fee payers, according to the authors of this article, and they gained members. So although they did lose fee payers, they never lost members. They actually gained more members. After the Janus decision, a lot of employees, public sector employees, specifically teachers, were bringing lawsuits to the unions for dues that were deducted before the Janus case. And they challenged the Government Code Section 1159, which granted immunity to public sector unions in California for pre-Janus collection of dues and agency fees. So they challenged this in their lawsuits. A lot of the courts ruled that the unions had good faith defenses that protected them. So after all the lawsuits, the authors write that they did not have success in these lawsuits. So going forward, the courts still found that the unions were protected by codes such as the 45060, which protects the unions and how they handle the union dues adjustments and deductions. I also read the Wisconsin's Legacy for Unions article by Greenhouse, and it covers the Wisconsin Act 10 bill. I learned that the act restricted power of public employee unions to bargain collectively. Before, they were able to do this. After that act was passed, or that bill was passed, they could no longer do that. So what this means is that the unions are barred from bargaining for pensions or over pensions, health coverage, safety hours, sick leave, vacation, etc. So there's very little that they can do. What this in turn caused is that employees don't really want to pay dues for a union that can't do much for them. This is something that I did not know that I learned after reading this article. Thank you for watching my presentation.